seems to have gotten over the ill effects of getting that finger stuck in his eye in the first half. We're down to one now, 44-43. A super final of the 43rd Annual National Invitational Basketball Tournament. We're happy we can be with you from Madison Square Garden. 1-point ball game with 8:15 remaining.
Virginia's saying they don't want to play against the 2-3 zone. They're going to take that big team, try and spread them out a little bit.
And Jeff Jones, 24, Lee Raker, 25, back in the Cavalier lineup.
Minnesota does come man, and Virginia immediately goes to their man offense.
This is Jones, looks for Raker. Mike Owens makes a move on Brewer, who'll pick up the foul. Got no call on the basket. It will be no basket. The foul is on the big man, Randy Brewer. That is his second, and the 14th foul on Minnesota.
Brewer pulled away from the basket. A good move by Mike Jones. Pulls him, it goes right by him, and the big guy stuck out his hand. Probably would have been a layup otherwise. Good first step by Mike Owens.
We're back live. Jones for Virginia. He's in no hurry. This is Raker. Owens. 7:35 remaining. Jeff Lamp.
Trent Tucker has done a fine defensive job on Jeff Lamb tonight.
Mike Owens bombs one in. He has 8 points. Virginia by 3. Big basket. 46-43. The Cavaliers lead it. Holmes. Trent Tucker. And we're down to one once again. Tucker's second field goal. It is 46-45 count.
Neither one of these teams are going to fold. Minnesota, of course, beat everybody in the Big Ten but Iowa. Lost heartbreakers to Indiana, overtime, Ohio State. They're a tough basketball team. They've both been through the wars. Virginia beat everybody in the ACC except Maryland and beat Duke twice. So we can look for a great finish.
And it has been a great one thus far. Sampson is fouled by Tucker as he goes up, and Trent Tucker has picked up his 4th personal foul of the ball game. And let's see what Jim Dutcher does. Will he leave Tucker in the lineup? A sophomore from Flint, Michigan.
Minnesota has 5 team fouls.
So far, no move. What a job he's done, Spencer. He took the Minnesota program over 5 years ago, and things weren't going very well in Minnesota land, and he really turned it around. Fine coach.
And he's done a fine job this year. You pointed out that Minnesota had a fine year in the Big Ten. They were 10-3 in that very tough conference. Sampson now with 12 points on 2 key free throws. 6:43 remaining. It's a 3-point Cavalier lead.
They tied for 4th in the Big Ten with Iowa, and of course Iowa's still in the hunt with Purdue for the NCAA championship.
Here's Holmes, and the rebound pulled down by Jeff Lamp. 6.5 remaining. 48-45. The Cavaliers of Virginia lead it by 3, and Jeff Jones directs the offense for Virginia.
Mary Holland may elect to go to some kind of a delay earlier than usual due to the physical makeup of this Minnesota team. You just can't imagine that you're going to get many second shots, even with a Ralph Sampson.
Here's Lamp out of step, and the foul is on Trent Tucker. He is fouled out of the ball game with 6:05 remaining. Tucker picks up his 5th personal foul, and now Jim Dutcher has no choice. He's got to go to his bench.
That's his 5th personal foul.
Virginia milking a little time, primarily Jeff Jones with the ball. The good cut coming in. Jeff Lamp has his man beat. The foul was called prior to that. Tucker was trailing the play, tried to bail out by reaching in. 9 times out of 10, that's a bad gamble. And it was expensive, his 5th.
And in the lineup, replacing Tucker, is number 24, Mark Hall, the sophomore from Springfield, Massachusetts. As a high schooler, he was Mr. Basketball in Massachusetts. Right here, Minnesota calls a timeout from Madison Square Garden, where it all began, where it is today, the 43rd annual NIT, with 6:05. The University of Minnesota, his team down by 3. Ball belongs to Virginia with a 48-45 lead. Let's see if they slow it up now, Buck.
Minnesota wants to go back to that zone. Virginia says, we got you 3, less than 6 to go. Come play us, man.
And now Hall steps out to meet Jeff Jones. 5:50 remaining. Virginia 48, Minnesota 45. Minnesota led it by 9 early in the first half, 21-12. Virginia battled back and has led it throughout the second half, but never by more than 6 points.
Now the freshmen are matched up underneath. Brewer's playing Sampson.
Mike Owens. Sampson has it batted away. Raker made the turnover and said, I want to get it back. But Lee Raker has done just that. What hustle by Lee Raker, number 25.
Jim Dutcher's on the floor protesting. The pass inside, stolen by Ben Coleman. He loses it back. Raker's waiting just to get a little peek of the ball so that he won't get called for the foul. He sees just a little, gets his hands on it. Dutcher wanted a foul.
Raker and Mitchell will jump it up. And it's controlled by Minnesota. Coleman getting it over to Mark Hall.
Minnesota's controlled virtually every tip. In the regular season, the Atlantic Coast Conference teams only have one tip to start the game. After that, they alternate. I think it hurts them in postseason play.
Here's Randy Brewer, a dozen points for the 7-2 freshman, and Minnesota is within one, 48-47. We're under 5 minutes, 4:55 remaining. Mike Owens, Jeff Lamb, and Jeff Lamb, only his second field goal of the ball game, but what a big one because it gives the Cavaliers a 3-point lead, 50-47. Big time for a basket for the 6'6 junior who had 30 in the semifinal victory over the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Here's Mitchell around Jones, and Mitchell has the Golden Gophers within one.
Jones has had a difficult time containing the quickness of the Minnesota backcourt. They've penetrated him all night long. Of course, we can talk about that right knee and the torn cartilage. It does affect his lateral movement, and he just basically isn't quick when he has two good knees.
Mike Owens for the Cavaliers, 50-49. Virginia by one. Jeff Lamb, Kevin McHale guarding him. Sampson guarded by Brewer, and the rebound is pulled down by Mitchell.
When they beat Sampson from the baseline, it's a lot easier for Minnesota to collapse. The easiest feed for the big guy is at the head of the key. Most of the night, Minnesota has influenced the ball toward the side so that they could get the front and back alignment on the big guy.
Mitchell had an opportunity to put Minnesota out in front, but Sampson has the rebound. This is Jeff Jones. Lee Raker fires. The rebound comes out to Hall. And Mark Hall for Minnesota. The Golden Gophers will slow it down. 3:25 remaining. Minnesota trails by one. Jim Dutcher wants to talk it over with his Golden Gophers. A timeout is called on the floor with 3:23 remaining. And what a ball game this has been. Minnesota led it at one point, 21-12 in the first half. Virginia then outscored them 17-8 to tie it at 29 at the end of the first half. And in that first half, Minnesota started shooting well, Bucky. 8 for 12, but the final minutes of the second half, they were 3 for 16. Here in the second half, looked like Virginia was going to break it open, but the Golden Gophers battled back.
Well, that's why they're in the finals. Neither one of these teams is going to fold. They've been through a lot of tough times all year. They've got the talent, and I think we're going to see an outstanding final 3 minutes and 23 seconds. I think Terry Holland has a key decision right now. He has he successfully pulled Minnesota out of their that's not a Gopher. That's a chipmunk.
No, it's a Golden Gopher.
That's a Golden Gopher.
It's a very big Golden
They didn't have Golden Gophers at Florida State. Anyway, Terry Holland pulled them out of the 2-3 zone, but then he went immediately to the man-for-man offense, which took the ball back inside against the big Minnesota front line. With 3 minutes and 23 seconds, he may elect to, being a 75% free throw shooting team, try to spread out that Minnesota side, open the floor, and I don't think it would be a bad move. He has to make that decision based on how much momentum his team thinks he has. And of course, if Minnesota scores, then he doesn't have that prerogative. He's got to play.
Minnesota has the ball. Players back in. Terry Gates back in the lineup for the Cavaliers of Virginia. 50-49. Virginia leads it by one. Hall. This is Mitchell. And Mitchell has put Minnesota out in front for the first time in the second half, 51-50. The young man who had the 2 free throws to put Minnesota into the final. And now Virginia has to battle back. Lee Raker knocked away by Mitchell. We're going to get a foul. And you see referee Mickey Crowley imploring Jim Dutcher to please sit down. The foul is on Mitchell. That is his third. It is a 1-and-1. And Lee Raker, an 83% free throw shooter, is at the line.
Jim Williams, his assistant, is up there with them. They were unhappy, not necessarily with the foul. They thought Raker was overly aggressive on through the whistle. In fact, that whole Minnesota bench was up. It looked like they were on the starting line. That could have been ugly.
Lee Raker is overly aggressive and gets a good bounce on that free throw. And I say that not in a derogatory sense, Bucky. He's the kind of ball player you want on your team.
Yeah, but you'll never convince Mitchell of that.
Only one of two. Brewer has the rebound. We're tied at 51 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the ball game, and Minnesota has the basketball. This is McHale. Hall. McHale. Holmes bangs into Raker. The rebound, Sampson. Could have been a foul there. And Jeff Jones will bring it up slowly for the Cavaliers.
Are they going to pull him out? Are they going to pull him out? Yes. A good move. Until Jim Dutcher can make a substitution, he's got 3 big men on the floor trying to press. Now, Virginia's coming back down in and running their offense, and as you can see, there are 5 gold jerseys all packed in there.
Here's Jeff Lamp, the rebound. Sampson trying to stop, but he's fouled from behind. And Ralph Sampson will go to the line to shoot 2. The foul is on Brewer for Sampson, his 15th rebound of the ball game.
Jeff Lamp taking it in traffic, didn't really have a hold of that ball, but with inside position is Ralph Sampson, who goes back up, makes a careless error. He wanted to stuff the ball, but he only took it up in one hand, and it just took just a little nudge that time. And of course, the guy that nudged him was 7'2", Randy Brewer, and he lost control of the ball. That very well could have been a 3-point play had he taken it up with both hands.
He has an opportunity to put the Cavaliers in front. He still does. Sampson, a 69% free throw shooter on the season, but only 41% here in the NIT. Jeff Klein back into the lineup for Virginia, replacing Jeff Jones. Virginia leads the ACC in Jeffs, I'm pretty sure of that.
Well, Terry Holland's a little upset. He did not want to bring Jones out at that point. Klein was waiting off of the scorer's table, but the scorer beckoned him on, and Mickey Crowley had no choice but to let him enter the game.
1 of 2 for Sampson, a 1-point lead for the Cavaliers of Virginia with 2:05 remaining. 52-51. Mitchell is fouled in the backcourt by Lamp. It'll be a 1-and-1, and on Lamp, his second personal.
What a foolish foul. I'm sure Terry Holland wanted a little token pressure, make Minnesota milk a little off the clock getting it up, but that was not a good foul, certainly not for a player of Jeff Lamp's caliber, a junior with all his experience.
Well, here's the situation. Darryl Mitchell, who hit 2 free throws with 14 seconds remaining to move Minnesota into the final in the semifinal victory over Illinois, is now on the line with 2:02 remaining. He can put his team ahead by 1. He has now tied it up. He has 17 points. He is the leading scorer in the ball game for the Golden Gophers. We're tied at 52. Clutch shooting by the sophomore from West Palm Beach, Florida, North Shore High School, and a 53-52 lead for the University of Minnesota. As you see, we're under 2 minutes, 1:50 remaining. Gates, this is Raker. Jeff Lamp. Again, Sampson from the baseline. And Jones has it, but Sampson looked up, so he had nowhere to go.
He got squeezed right off the floor. Good defense by Minnesota.
We're going to have a foul underneath. Mickey Crowley makes the call. It's going to be on Randy Brewer.
Fouled by Randy Brewer.
That's the inexperience of Randy Brewer. Again, he's being caught on top, and with the baseline pass coming down, there is no help for him. He's got to get on the baseline side and force him up. That's the same play that happened last time, except Sampson got up in the air and forced over the end line.
1-and-1 for Sampson, and this time he hits the first one to tie the ball game at 53-53. And Sampson can put the Cavaliers out in front with 1:31 remaining. And he does just that. 54-53 Virginia. We've got a beauty here at the Garden. This is Mitchell, and Minnesota wants to talk things over with a minute and 24 officially left in the ball game. And Jim Dutcher crowds his Golden Gophers around him. The opening game tonight. Third place goes to Illinois over the University of Nevada in Las Vegas. 84.
If he should opt to go this year, he would be going with one of the more successful franchises and have a couple of years to break in behind Callens. That's the kind of speculation.
The clock tells you we have a minute 17 remaining. Minnesota has no timeouts left in this ball game. And McHale saves it from going out of bounds, but it's knocked away by Raker and stolen by Jones. With a minute 5 remaining, Lee Raker comes up with a big defensive play for the Cavaliers, and Minnesota will have to steal it or foul the Virginia team. Jeff Jones, Raker, Jones. We have 50 seconds remaining. Virginia leads it by 1. You don't want to foul Raker. Sampson.
Only 3 guys are going to handle it. Lamb shoots 84, Raker 83, and Jones 77. You don't have much choice.
Lamb gets it to Raker. This is Gates. That's the man they want to foul. And they do just that. Terry Gates will go to the line to shoot a very key 1-and-1 with the Cavaliers of Virginia leading by 1, 54-53. Jim Dutcher's concerned as he sits down on the bench.
Jim Dutcher has no more timeouts remaining. And that, of course, is a valuable ploy at this point in the game. Terry Holland of Virginia has 5 timeouts remaining.
Would you call a timeout now if you were the coach of Minnesota if you had it?
Well, yeah, if I had it, but he doesn't have it.
And it didn't matter. Gates Smith, Sampson has the rebound. Big Ralph Sampson with a key rebound, 25 seconds remaining. This is Gates. They try and foul him again, and Holmes couldn't get his hands on him. And now, Lamp is fouled, and he will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1. Big rebound for Ralph Sampson.
The heavens opened up for Minnesota. What they had to have was a miss. They got the miss from Terry Gates, and lo and behold, the hustling Cavaliers from Virginia got the offensive rebound. And as you look out there on the floor with McHale and Brewer and Coleman, how in the world could they have gotten it?
Here's Lamp for the 1-and-1. 6 points for Lamp. He can put the Cavaliers out by 3 with 19 seconds remaining. Minnesota, no times out left. 17 seconds left. Mitchell, Virginia will not foul. And so as I say that, Sampson commits a foul, and very nearly McHale stuffs it in, which could have brought about a 3-point play.
Oh, a super move down the baseline by Kevin McHale. 6'11", 240. He takes it to the hoop, knowing they need 3. The challenge is met by Ralph. Said, look at that, up above the square. And the 2 of them arm wrestle with that thing and nearly force it down through.
And Kevin McHale goes back to the bench because the University of Virginia calls a timeout. Have McHale think about it a bit. It is 56-53 in favor of the Cavaliers of Virginia. Those 2 free throws by Jeff Jones moments ago, giving Virginia this 3-point lead. And this crowd, they haven't sat down, Bucky, in about the last 8 minutes.
Well, that's true. Now, we talked about Terry Holland having 4 timeouts left. He may want to use one, but he's got to think about the fact that Jim Dutcher doesn't have any left. We're going with a little chalkboard here. What they're trying to do is set up for the inbounds against the pressure. And of course, what Minnesota will be trying to do is draw the charge, try to get in front of any movement by Virginia, trying to get free to get inbound.